Hi, and thanks for joining us for the Member of the Month conversation here at IFP Phoenix. My name is Webb. I'm the Executive Director, and today I have Mr. Nathan Blackwell, the famous, the wonderful. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
What's that? So, you know what? I don't think that a lot of people out in the Phoenix area necessarily know who you are, although you've done tons of films. How many have you done?
Well, I've shot a bazillion short films.
A bazillion?
Yeah.
Wow. How many zeros is that?
Right. Well, I've been making short films since I was 11, which means that I've worked in virtually every format. Super 8. Remember those PXL 2000s that shot on like audio cassette?
Yes, I do. I don't remember the model number.
Yeah, I shot about 10 movies on that, and then, you know, video, and then eventually film. The only thing I haven't done is 35 millimeter. That'd be great, but
yeah, well,
so,
yeah, wouldn't it?
But I've done 2 feacher films,
really?
low budget and no budget.
Were they produced, those features, were they done here in Arizona?
Yeah.
Oh, they were,
yeah.
okay.
One was, the first one I did when I was 22. I was just straight out of SEC. We shot on 16 millimeter film because digital at that point really wasn't viable. And then the other one was about, it was about 8, 9 years later. I just wasn't where I wanted to be, and so I just wanted to make a film. And so we did a no-budget feature film called The Constant Epiphanies of Billy the Blood Donor. And we shot that on a DVX 100. And it turned out pretty well, but it definitely wears its low budget on its sleeve. Since it doesn't have distribution, I'm thinking of actually chopping it up and serializing it and putting it out on the internet. So.
Which seems to be your MO.
Right, yeah.
We'll get there in a second. I don't get too far ahead of ourselves. But so that feature, did you do anything with it? Did you get it out there?
Forever Midnight, that's the first one. I was young, and then so I made a movie about young people. It was very kind of American Graffiti-esque. It was about a group of 3 friends right after, their summer right after high school, and them not knowing what they do. They all kind of start together, separate, go off on their own little kind of adventures, and they come together again. The coolest thing that happened with that film is that we got onto something called Flix Tour, and we actually went on tour. I was actually paid to go on tour with the movie to about 17 different colleges around the country.
Very
and
cool.
So it was definitely great for me, being young and getting to see half the country.
Now, is that a program that still exists out there?
No,
or is that
no,
like
we were the last.
Let's not think that you're the one who sunk it. No?
Right, exactly.
No, of course not.
Right.
Now, a lot of your films seem to be comedic, or at least most of the ones that I've seen.
Yeah.
So that seems to be
Which
your
was
flair.
interesting because Forever Midnight wasn't. I mean, it had comedy, but it was really more of a drama.
Why do you feel that maybe you do more comedic work? Is it that just that's where you like?
That's just the joy, you know. That's just the fun stuff, you know. It's like I have done like action stuff, suspense stuff. Kind of, I've done art films like at SEC. If you have Dr. Price as your head teacher, you have to do like a couple experimental films because she's big into that. You know, it's like I love genres. I love sci-fi. I love action. I love all these different genres, but I always feel like I've got to add comedy to it. You know, it's just, I guess, what makes me happy.
I know you direct. You said that earlier. You directed all those films.
Yeah.
You write your own material?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do work with some of my friends, but it's usually me sitting at the computer writing the actual screenplay.
Okay.
So
you collaborate with your friends.
Yeah, we have a brain
ideas.
trust. You know, it's a lot of the people who are still kind of with us are the people who kind of started with us. It's sort of like my brother and one of my oldest friends, Craig. And so like for when we did in the past, the 48-hour film challenges, it would be us 3 kind of getting our brains around what we wanted the short to be about. And then, you know, it's always unfair from a collaborative standpoint that one of the writers is also the director too, because eventually I kind of had to veto what we wanted to do or what we were going to do, but that's just unfortunately, you know, how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah,
but,
I've been in that same position. 48 hours.
And I would love it, but they all come from different writing point of views. My brother writes plays, and then my friend Craig, he's actually written 3 novels, and then I'm the screenwriter, so that I've got to kind of take their ideas and put it into the format, you know, because screenwriting is definitely a different format, you know.
Yes, it is, and screenwriting compared to plays, compared to novels,
they
definitely are different animals, and a lot of people don't realize that. They think, oh, writing is writing. yeah, you still have character arcs.
Yeah, that's
but
the
how
thing.
you reveal it is totally different.
Yeah, to me, you know, I've given this a lot of thought. Screenwriting, which I probably spend more time working on than actually directing, even though I kind of think of myself as a director.
Right.
I mean, I've written stuff that other people have directed, and I've directed that other stuff that other people have written, and I enjoy directing more than the writing, because then you kind of lose control of your baby. But then it's kind of fun to actually direct something you didn't write, because you can kind of find storytelling values or moments that weren't in there, and you can kind of build onto it rather than to kind of have it ripped from you, you know. But yeah, I probably spend more time actually writing and working on the craft of screenwriting, because to me it's just storytelling. So it's like I write the stuff, I direct it, and then I also edit too. And it's just a continuation. It's difficult for me to kind of see a separation between them. I kind of think of it as storytelling.
Yeah, I agree. There is a gray line there, and
it's tough. It's tough. I definitely would like to have the experience of working with a fantastic screenwriter who has ideas that are far better than mine, and then I can add to them as a director. And then a great editor who finds these moments that I never thought of. I would love to do that, you know.
Right. Excellent. Now, kind of along with screenwriting, thank you for helping us with our screenwriters group. With that seminar that you gave for our screenwriting group, it was about writing web series. And I said we'd come back to it, and here it comes.
Nice.
You've become like the web series guy in town, apparently, whether you've realized it or meant to or not.
It would seem so, yeah. And I don't necessarily think of myself as like a classic, you know, it's like as the web series guy, but yeah, it appears to be, because I've directed 2 other people's web series. I've directed episodes of a web series called Net Worth, and then also Western X.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, I've got my own 2 web series, Normally This Weird and Voyage Trekkers.
Right.
And yeah, web series are an interesting kind of little beast, you know. There's the reason that I guess that I've gotten into them is that they're just fun, you know. It's fun to take a group of characters and kind of progress them through stories, you know. That was definitely the challenge with Normally This Weird, because it is kind of a continuous storyline, and it's a lot of different characters kind of intersecting. And the web series are basically like small TV shows, you know.
And you enjoy that format?
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah, I do.
It's like, well, it's like short films, but in a series.
Exactly. So
for a short filmmaker, I don't know, I love them, because you can tell little short films, but then still have something that may be marketable, right? Have you found them to be marketable? Have you found
I've found that the most valuable thing for web series is to really kind of build your fan base. You know, is to kind of to connect with an online group and then give them regular kind of installments of your stuff. We've done a lot of short films, and it was always kind of a great little event when we premiered another short film, but you would never get that kind of continuity of that audience, you know. It's that you would come with the web series, which is I guess really the thing that kind of excites me. You know, it's really more about the audience and the fan base and kind of fostering that group than short films and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. Now, you brought with you a clip from Voyage Trekkers today, so I don't know who's seen it, but let's go ahead and roll that clip, and we'll come back.
Listen up. We represent the Galactic Union. So I don't care how ugly these aliens are. I don't care what they smell like. I don't care how stupid their culture is. We're gonna keep it professional.
Kind of in the middle of something right now. I'm about to make an entry with the captain's log.
No, I'm still twitching.
Okay, so we're back. So that's Voyage Trekkers,
Right.
huh? Right. I love the way you say that.
Well, it is what it is.
It is. I mean, what is the motivation behind that?
Well, I had like all these different projects going on, and they were all in the kind of in development phase or editing phase. I just felt like I wanted to do something, and it seems like the dumbest idea ever to like bring on a new series, you know.
Right.
But the whole pitch was with Voyage Trekkers is that they would be short, they're like 2 to 3 minutes long.
Right.
They're completely comedic, so it's just a lot of fun for everyone. We can shoot them in just like 1 or 2 weekends, you know, and we could shoot several that way. We actually shot about 3 episodes a day, which is a little insane. But since they're about 2 to 3 minutes long, it's like about 8 pages a day.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just kind of my love letter to sci-fi. I never really got to do sci-fi.
Yeah.
You know, I've done like, you know, 1940s action adventure serials. I've done zombies, you know, but I never did sci-fi. And so that was kind of like my ode to sci-fi.
Awesome. Now you have, by the time that this goes to air, you should already have a few episodes out, right?
Exactly.
So how does somebody check out Voyage Trekkers on?
You can go to our website, squishystudios.com.
Okay, great.
Where we'll have links to there. We're looking into also getting the series out on other websites, you know, that kind of host web series and stuff like that. But you can always go to squishystudios.com and check out our projects.
Great. Now you also have another web series that is hopefully going to be on the coattails of that, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's only going to be about a couple of weeks or like a month and a half right after the end of Voyage Trekkers that we have Normally This Weird.
Normally This Weird.
Right, exactly.
And that you also have a trailer for that as well.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So let's show our audience that, and we'll come back in a couple seconds.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
I don't know. They look pretty normal.
I guess every neighborhood has its token weirdo.
Can't believe they got all the blood out of this place.
They won't last.
All right, so that was Normally This Weird. And what is the general premise for Normally This Weird?
Well, it's about a group of newlyweds who move into a neighborhood. They're kind of doing the adult steps. They're kind of getting married, they're moving into their house, and then they realize that their neighborhood is just filled of strange people. And so the whole premise for me was having normal people have completely out of the ordinary weird things happen to them. And then to kind of flip it, you've got these strange people going through very normal stuff. Like people who cast magic who are dealing with, Dad, that's not fair, you know, stuff like that. And how would a girl who's got a crush on a boy who has magic go through that experience, you know? Casting spells, she doesn't have Facebook, so she's got a crystal ball, things like that, you know? So yeah, it was just an opportunity to mix, I guess, comedy with that kind of human heart.
Great. And when abouts do you imagine that would be coming out?
That'll be in the fall. The first 2 episodes are out right now. We did them like a year and a half ago.
Right, that's right.
And then so what we did was shot the remaining 7 episodes. So it'll be a total of 9 episodes.
Great. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, I guess for your screenwriting or your directing abilities, or wants to get more information, how does somebody get in touch with you?
The best way is probably to kind of keep track of what we're doing is our Facebook site.
Okay.
And so yeah, Squishy Studios is on Facebook.
Great.
And so that'll have all the web series, and I'll have everything, and then they can contact me that way. It'll also have any kind of future projects which we may be secretly leading up to as these web series are finishing up. So
excellent. You know, well, thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. And thank you for joining us for the Member of the Month conversation here at IFP Phoenix.